All right, so try again today. We're on Let's Talk Radio, we're segment 1. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties today, but we're getting this interview in. I'm super excited to have Nicolee Thompson on the line today from Harvest Compassion Center, correct? And so tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do.
Yes, well, thank you for having me on so much. Harvest Compassion Center, they are local food and clothing banks located throughout the Valley. We have 3 locations at the moment. We're in the East Valley in Chandler, we're in the North Phoenix area, and we're also in the West Valley in the Maryville community. And I happen to be co-founder and executive director, and we have a mission to feed and clothe our neighbors in need, and we started doing that about 8 years ago.
You know, first of all, thank you so much. It really is amazing what it is that you guys are doing. Your mission was just completely bamboozled by it. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And I'm hoping that we're not freezing. I think we're freezing. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. You're good.
You know, I'm gonna just kind of keep going, and just if we have to redo this video again another day, but I think that our somehow our internet connection is not the best today, and I'm not sure why that is. Broadcast, but it might be just a gremlin. So you are part of the 13 charities that I'm interviewing for my Art of Fearlessly Giving Back series. So essentially, you're one of the charities that I'm interviewing over the next 13 weeks. I'll be 3 of you onto a vote. And then one of you will be chosen to be the Fearlessly Giving Back series this year, interviewing all the leadership in your organization, and then 13 of your donors or prospective donors. And then what will happen is at the end of that series, there'll be an auction, and we're hoping I'll get to write you a really big fat check. So my goal for this project is $1 million. And wouldn't it be awesome if I hit it the first year? I know it's a big, hairy, audacious, but if you don't set them, you're never gonna hit them, correct?
I love it. You are dreaming huge, and we collect checks every day of the year. So the ones that have lots of zeros, go for those ones. So I love what you're doing.
Exactly. I think that there's the tremendous help that we can give the homeless and people in need in our community, and I just love what you're doing. So how did you guys, why this? I mean, when you decided to open up your organization, you and I and young, and so that your organization is kind of commemorating your brother, correct?
Yeah, so Mitchell Swabic Charities is the 501c3 who fully funds Harvest Compassion Centers. And Mitch is my brother, and we did lose Mitch almost 15 years ago. This coming August 14th is the anniversary. He was 23 years old, and he actually drowned in an accident. And we believe it was the Lord's time that called him home. But from that freak accident and losing my brother, my only brother, we just took lead from my brother. My brother was the guy who would meet you on the street, help you, don't even know who you are, would be like, I'll show up. I was not like that. I got to be super quiet and kind of got to hide behind my brother. So we decided, when we lost my brother, we'll start saying yes, and we'll just start showing up and seeing how we can help others. And so the first 7 years of our existence as a charity, we did a lot of other projects that he would have been a part of. And then honestly, post-recession, we were in building. We know what happened during the recession, and It was so in your face in the Valley of just the basic necessities. And not working with a ton of homeless, but people who are hardworking individuals, single moms or dads who go to work every day, who are trying their best to provide their family, put the roof over their head, food on the table. They're just short. They're short every month because there's a lot of mouths to feed. So we really focused on those low-income families that, let's help that gap. Let's fill that gap, and let's give them the food, the hygiene, the clothing that they need so they can make sure they stay in their homes and they pay their utility bills and their air conditioning, etc.
I think that you're saying something super important, because I think that we think that people in need are the people that we see. Like my apartment, my studio is at 3rd Street and McDowell, right? So I'm in that like kind of Roosevelt Row art district, and I see homeless all the time now. We think those are the poor people, but really, you know, the folks that have 2 or 3 kids, and they have to have 2 cars, and they're living on 2 modest income wages. You know, I have a hard time affording myself. It's just me. So to have a whole family in a house and 2 cars and all that stuff to take care of is just a huge deal. And sometimes families are short.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of combined families. So even in different cultures, that's what you do. You all live together, you know, under one roof, and you have your parents in your home, and you have aunts and uncles. And it really comes down to just a lot of mouths to feed. And people, I mean, they do work, but they don't get, you know, high paying jobs because of various reasons. And so it's like they are having income. However, they just have, you know, have to be spread, and they're always going to give it to other people first, right? Moms and dads, grandparents, we're going to take care of the kids first. We're going to take care of someone else first. So a lot of times the adults are the ones who are barely eating once a day. So we want to make sure that we had centers that were fun to visit, were beyond clean, and it was a shopping experience, and we have no restrictions. So I don't have to qualify you as hungry, because honestly, when you have strangers that walk in your door, how do you really do that? So we really take our concept of, hey, if you're humble enough to walk in our door, we're going to love you at the door. We're going to accept your story. We're not going to try to, you know, break it apart and qualify it. Now you got to prove.
Well, yeah, it's humiliating enough to ask and help. To go through the process of qualifying for help is also a very difficult process, you know, for sure. So what do you think about this? It's a huge thing to be humble that way. So you guys have been in 7 years. So what's your biggest lesson? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned in 7 years?
The biggest lesson that I have learned in 7 years is anybody could be in need. And like you mentioned, you see the homeless on the street, but that's actually a pretty small percentage of who in collaboration, food banks and food outreach are actually feeding. And it takes a couple crises in your life. And we've had working professionals who made 6 figures 2 years prior, and they found themselves in my chair talking to me. And they're just like, how did I get here? And it's a medical crisis. It's a job loss. It's, you know, a death in the family, and things can spiral out of control very, very fast. And if you're emotionally not able to handle that sometimes, or there's mental illness, you can find yourself in a tight spot of, oh no, now I can't pay my bills. I can't get food on the table. So that's kind of maybe the biggest eye-opening experience of how fast that can happen and how much harder it is to kind of get back to the point where you don't need assistance anymore.
Well, I came out to Arizona in 2009, and I had a business back east that I was, you know, transitioning, and worked for GoDaddy for the first year because I didn't want to be running one business and starting another one. But in my first job search when I came out here, I met with an organization called Executives Network. And I was amazed at how many people that were super educated were in that situation. I mean, I think it's not a value judgment. There's lots of, I wish I could remember the woman that I heard speak on TEDx about, you know, a doctorate, had money her whole life. That position went away and she just could never replace the income.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think it's it's the reason, quite frankly, that I was driven to entrepreneurship, to continue being an entrepreneur, was because there wasn't a job, because all the folks that were leaving CEO positions were taking director level positions, and then the directors were taking the other positions, and people weren't hiring. So I had to invent something. In the process of doing that, you and I have ended up talking. So it's just funny to me how the world works. You know what I mean? So Arizona is the 13th worst in the state for food hardship. That's like
in the country. We are not winning this battle, unfortunately, as a state. We need to do a much better job, and really more food goes out every year, but there's a lot of waste that's involved in that too. So I love the way we create our shopping experience. It's basically a super Walmart on a very smaller level, but we allow our guests to shop. We call our clients our guests. They shop for their own groceries. So again, these are strangers walking in the door. I have no idea if they like tuna or if they want chicken, right? And so that food doesn't end up in the trash. Let's let them choose and have a normal shopping experience. So we can really make sure we're doing a better job, at getting some of these state statistics to be better, where 1 in 4 kids are hungry and 1 in 5 adults. And it hasn't changed in several years. So our concept, I believe, works because you're choosing your own groceries. Kids pick out their own favorite cereal, whatever that may be. And so we're being assured that they're actually using this food and then, bettering them. Mississippi is like dead last in the country, and North Dakota, they're like rocking it as far as people who aren't hungry. So we have a ways to go, and we do have a mission to plant more centers around the state, and our desire is to go into underserved zip codes. So transportation is a huge obstacle to actually feed people because they can't get to us. So if we continue to plant in these little pockets where not a lot of resources are at, then we have a really good chance to help that overall state stat.
So you broke up a little bit. What you're saying is that you're putting centers in new little pockets where there's not a lot of state assistance.
Yes, so underserved zip codes, absolutely. Transportation is a huge barrier.
Oh, especially in Arizona, it's crazy. It's really crazy. So how do you get the local community involved with outreach? What are some of the things that you're doing?
Well, first of all, go to our website, harvestcompassioncenter.org, and sign up to volunteer, because all of our shifts are run by volunteers. Over 1,300 volunteers come in. We can't do what we do without having these volunteers present. And then really, honestly, word of mouth, things like your podcast and your radio shows and what you do is tell a friend to clean out a closet, donate your clothes to us. We will never sell anything. We will launder it. It will look amazing, and it will find a new home probably within, days. And then tell someone else. We don't have a huge marketing budget. We're not spending money in those areas. We want to spend money on product and helping our neighbors. So really just start talking about what we're doing. Find us on social media. And if you really want to make an impact on a family, come on in and use your hands and feet.
So we broke up there again, which is such a bummer. What you're saying is people should find you on Facebook.
Yes, all social media and harvestcompassioncenter.org.
So annoyed we got a bad internet connection. It's crappy. I can't stand when that happens. Oh, you still there?
I hear you. Yes.
Still there? Are we frozen?
You're a little bit frozen, but I still see you. So sorry about that.
You can still hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
So I think that one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to reshoot this video in part and add to this live broadcast. So when people are listening to it, we're going to add to it in the comments. Okay. And so how do people find you on Facebook? What's your telephone number?
Yes. So go ahead and harvestcompassioncenter.org. You can call our main office at 602-788-2444 and find all information. And then Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter.
Awesome. So one of the other things that you talked about is, I'm just taking a look at my notes here. Just want to make sure I don't miss the last question.
I know you talked about working together with other nonprofits.
There was one other thing that you wanted to talk about. What was it?
Working with other nonprofits?
The benefits of nonprofits working together to solve a problem. That's a huge deal. So you actually know Dawn Marie, founder of HELP, correct?
Yes, love Dawn Marie.
And she's working with homeless and children specifically. She was a homeless child and she grew up to create that organization. So you guys kind of work hand in hand to help folks, right?
We do. It's all about knowing others who are out there, know what they're doing. How can you help each other? How can we swap product back and forth? If I have too much of this, if she has a bunch of men's clothes and no men to serve at the moment, we have men to serve. It's all about, kind of stay in your lane, do what you do really well, but then connect the dots with everyone else. And then that's how families get back on their feet. So if Marie's doing more of on the street homeless and in the schools doing some feeding programs there, well, if I have extra, etc., I can give that to them. So it's all about just working together and making sure the families have the most resources, the best product that they could have, and then get them where they don't need us anymore. And now they come back full circle and they volunteer with us. They volunteer with Dawn Marie. They volunteer at foster care, at medical help, at counseling services, because that is our goal. And it's amazing to see others come together, because that's why what we do.
You know, I think it's interesting that the two of I lost my brother. He was 22. My life and my parents' dream home. The reason why there's always a 13 in my project is because my brother killed himself on the 13th. And so there's always 13 interviews and 13 paintings and 13 of everything, because my brother taught me everything that I need to know about love and compassion. And it sounds like your brother did the same thing. And it's amazing. I'm probably going to bawl. It's amazing how two women can meet. Technology on Facebook Live, broken internet connection or not, and you know, the potential that you could win this project. And the way I look at it is, every painting, you have to find a donor that will purchase the painting for $77,000 more than its value. And I'm thinking, there's got to be 15 people who will do that. So you never know. You never know. You might be able to write a really big check this year. I hope that I get a chance to do that. So really, for your listeners, the key is for folks to share this video. This has been a perfect example of what it looks like to, roll with the punches. It's part of being an entrepreneur is just showing up and dealing with things not going your way. Part of being a nonprofit that's successful is also doing that. So this video has been a perfect example of a broken internet connection. I think we've gotten our message across. So I really appreciate your time, Nicole, and all the work that you're doing. I'm going to come down and visit you guys, make up this crazy video, and we're gonna do a little Facebook Live from your location and get the word out again about what it is that you're doing.
Awesome. I say yes to it all.
You're broken up again. It's such a bummer.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to let the broadcast go today. And so everyone pass the video around and let Nicole know that you are interested in helping them by reaching out to their website. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Sorry for the broken internet connection. See you later.